Sanjin Judan Suji Chunam La Chanju Pado Dani Jasu Dagi Chushi Jibe Sunam Jin Rola Penje Sanjin Ruba Shu Sanjin Judan Suji Chunam La Chanju Pado Dani Jasu Dagi Chushi Jibe Sunam Jin Rola Penje Sanjin Ruba Shu Sanjin Chudan Suji Chunam La Shanju Pardo Dane Jasu Dagi Chushi Jibe Sunam Rola Penji Sanjin Ruba Shu Gangen Tuzi Nizome Dawa Tamji Pangwe Je Tambe Chunen Tenzen Be Godam De La Chaze Lo Tuni Ninje Zongdong Juve La Jeje Senze Gangen Tenzen Gun Chana Be Mo Tenzen Janzo Sovan de so da ju jin jin lo Mananga da nyambe simjen tamje dongen junde ni da junde so be sanjin ji gompa rinpoche to be je tambe che zambon de nyamzo lo cha la so 네, 참말로 다시 때래 저기 참지 저기 되니 나서다 최지 드링 쉐어인 바다 되니 글로 넘버를 타고지 나서 초다카네 참마체 남아 참마 가사거니 배 용어 가진체 되니 나서 다지 자와 간르지 제와 있는 글로 넘버 타고 타입이 심전 탐제지 치더라 되니 맞아 산진지 공방을 무지 도비 치더라 산진지 공방 라야디 에너지 심상보 전주기 심주를 제당 다와 친지 말로 줄을 제한데 대 산진지 공방 임바레 안디 되지 푸숨 줘봐 네가 타도 용수 줘봐 아니 되지 푸숨 줘봐 여와 송장 대 산진지 공방을 무지 된데지라 한가서다 가져로 ngandro soje tamaji danda uzila komba jewa ina ani susu semla chardeva yungro te sungza tene tendegi ngala ta ngaso trolling che de yang ani chik susu zo karijugro ta tichu trolandra maimba ani chi lagido karichigdu rawndre maimba one tane thondan demba ngaso tenjoji milero muje ni gawa thonjewa tende injang teni 자와 간르지 제와이나 안에 타입이 심전 탐질라 펜데 바식 제도 삼는지 땅자와이나 되는 가족이 니갑 타들라 대지 푸순서바 용대교리 대송장 되니 까마카시 까마직 자서 말해다 심야오지 제로나스
Ja, hallo Tashidele. Sorry, I have to speak in English. Sorry. Tashidele, that's international. Tashidele, bliss and fortune, the Tibetan greeting to everyone, and Rinpoche wants to give you a warm welcome, everybody that came here, and she says, thank you for inviting me and for coming here and making the effort. And how can we start? Well, we should be sort of keeping in mind how grateful we are, how lucky we are that we have been given the opportunity to find the Dharma, and we should sort of make up the right motivation to, that what we do here, we are not doing this only for us. We want to create something that we can give to all the limitless beings all around there, the suffering limitless beings, and this is what our effort is aiming at. And if we keep this in our mind, that everything we do should be for the sake of them, and that when we do these Dharma activities here, that we want to do that with that motivation, and that we take this really to our heart, deep in our heart. We have to keep this and hold on to this. And then if we look back at that, then for one day at least we have been doing something purposeful, something with a meaning. We have for a short moment, a minute, or even a day, been creating something meaningful in our lives, and we should go on with it and with this, and should not just leave it up to one day. But as we have heard, this is something meaningful, and we should take us a minute to really get it into our heart and contemplate on it.
Tini chuk saze sebji ya was nashus.
So this sort of consider it for a moment.
Oh, that's so. That didn't judge a day. As a so carrego. Carriage, and so judge a day.
Dutadi drill me duptop.
Dream to the
That's in drill me duptop. Lung.
She's in German to die long reservoir. Ding as a jugo de la Nyamdo Dungeon and Diggy. Tenny Jinda Carriage. Jason to me. Jinda Carriage. Jinda Chivarebe, Jinda Kimarva, Carre Yamle Chedan Gorebe, Carre.
Also es geht darum, sorry. So what is the purpose? Why do we want this? Why do we want to practice this?
Carri Tundare, la, Dangi Yawashi Mason, Chiranso, you tapped it carriere.
So,
Jizun Dromaji, any Drama Nishu Zagji, Lungji, do Adishu, Delangasanyamdo, Denjana, and Jahwazami Lung Tobro, and Ya, Deni Nyamsulimba, La, Kanije, Rawatari Aniji, Tindi Sons, Tindi Imba.
So Rinpoche will give a sort of short introduction about, rough introduction about the meaning and the purpose of it. If you want to ask questions, this will be also possible. And of course, afterwards will follow the giving of the bestowing of the lung of the 21 practices of Tara. Sorry.
Yeah, that tambo chivas gyujango. Antenam babi kachu kawan during the thingy kare pentona. Tishugi.
Kirang tets ke chewa lapronang. Tampo tiba oder tröpa ti so. Tangpor gotsu la kirang töpa oder chiba ti haguma so.
Tangen tateri bitu.
Drati tets chungde.
Chiba chile.
Tivatilen. Ah, genau, Tivatilen. Also, there is first the question and answer session.
Lasso.
Anybody a question? And there have been some prepared. Also, Tivakashe Tatiche bayin, konsultits duper re. Please. Tivachik yongire.
Please, Venerable KHANDRO, could you be so kind and give us a commentary to the 21 praises of Tara? Please.
21. Yeah.
Also, kirang tivadi Gotsu painbe. Also, tivadires ngatso druptop di döndak di dits trelvanang ronang dits telcheche ronang döndak so ziki döndak zikjegi döndak Chietangi döndak, dets techecheronang.
Da laso da chidange jizun dromage la khandzi da trupdap nyalen chewayina da zawege ngazoge ane sanjeji chu nyamlen cheyala ane thangbo ane je tembani lam thapshini debu kunni dela an susu te chi chayu ju yobata ichi thobaze chewayina ane nyamle kawan jila nyamle chewayina drupdap khandre ze chewayina teni che shigiro as.
Yeah, if we want to practice the Buddha Dharma, if we have found some faith in the possibility of reaching the true resulting bodies of a Buddha, and if we then consider taking up the paths that the Buddha taught to be able to reach these states, then we can make use of sadhanas, and like the sadhana of deities like Tara, and how it is done, and who she is, and the rest will be explained.
Da jizun dromala ina da changdön da ngedön ji yawa mangbo jisung nangyore teni da changdön gi ni chun rawr zina da phme ngaso najin ji phomo ani ji kharjuguru da jawoge semu tende nambada manda semoge nambaje da teni da tuda negabla teni ji moi nambala da manda jene teni kale la teni ngazo tenjin jawa je chöde de zachimbo tezo de chembingane ani 동해 만들어봤다 대반대바 대저 정말로 딘디 뚜두비 용고 이제 남자이 니승안에 되네 공 분명히 레든 간에 아니 타입이 심전 탐지 산지지 공부를 붙이 아니 분명히 레든 간에 도고긴도 딘디기 제외 연대 감대시니 뭐 자침보 주여봐 지 쳔비 토네 공기 타입이 심전 탐지 나 데더지 공부 주야라 나랑기 아니 원도 줄거도 고네 되네 아니 방자 메게와 줄라 속반에 되네 전주 숨지 동방아지 동바 돈베지 넘버 토마가네 최탐지 되네 장배 연대 용수 줘봐 주팀빙아니 용거야 당 녜베지니 동해 이제서 주팀빙아니 용거 인장 되는 예배 동행 대적이 주제인데도 용르 땅 장부지 주제인데도 망루 땅네 아니 타도 공개 다직 당지 마르바 랑진진 라이지 가서 다 동해제 자와 데서데 인장 안 데서 상말로 로 친지로이 로 근데 아니 친지 말로 베지 직바이지 시군도 존네 타르콩 산제지 공부를 못지 분명히 되나 톱대 안 된데기 자침부지 제 아니 자와 군지 제친 юм다우지 된데지 자침부지 장된 니승안이다 된데지 성요리 땅에된 니승안이 야다 시
So, what do we find here in the sadhana and all the mentioning, the details that we find here? They all relate to all the different aspects that Jetsun Drolma sort of consists of, and it is all the aspects that an enlightened mind is capable of, and all the qualities that an enlightened mind comprises of. And it is like the qualities of the Buddha himself, so to say, after reaching the state of Buddhahood. And it's in the tradition of a Nama Samgiti, sort of the calling out the name, and in all these names and supplications that are in there, we find all that we have to know, all the qualities that we ourselves have to develop to be able to reach her state. And this is what we're aiming for if we do the practice. And what do we find in there? We find a lot of relations about sort of dependent arising of cause and effect, and we have a lot of information about all the different steps, the order in which we have to proceed to reach the state of Buddhahood. Like, for example, first there is the mentioning of abandoning that which has to be abandoned, which we have to give up, the faulty things in our mind. And then afterwards it is about building up the understanding and the insights into reality by gaining the virtues and the merit that we have to create to do so, and training in meditation, and then afterwards be able to cut through the net of being blinded by ignorance and all that self-grasping that is coming out of considering the self as a definite entity, and then reaching through that, the final ability of cutting through the root of suffering, and then finally fulfilling the goal and being able to to manifest all the qualities and to help limitless sentient beings to reach the same state, to free themselves from Buddhahood, which is the motivation right from the start to do so. So in this manner.
Also, da ngedengane rawrazina dini 당아주 제단계 탑다 시럽 나야기 자체모 차디기도와 대인자네 아니지 내등은에 아니 추구군도 자모 아니 롱고 아니 남바 나소 아니 염천부 시럽지 바로 지늘라 소바네 지제원라 아니 남바 더마르데와 아니 심지어 탐제라 감다 매바 참비기 남바르데와 되니 공인은 뒤숨지 산제 탐제지 아니 참닝지 전주기 셈지 르발샤데와 뒤숨지 다니 되니 마마 뒤숨기 아니 가르쳐로다 잡다 봉니 아니 건다 라나메와 아니 시르플라나메와 누발라나메와 제발라나메와 침바데레와 침발라나메와 마침바 카야메와 마셀바 카야메와 마트르바 카야메와 딘디게 낭니 아니 전죽스메 똥니 닌제지 종낭라 샤데베지 파마지진좀마 데니 산제 탐지지 아니 툭제와 침부 넘발라 샤데베기 아니 직접 통주 지바 용수소바 잡담니 강라 강들라 델란텐데지 틀린 침보 때듬니 딘디게 아니 자침보 즉 인데와라라
and it provides the means to reach the perfection of wisdom, and with the right motivation right from the start, it will sort of provide all aspects of that what Buddhahood consists of. And to attain this, we need the three trainings in studying and Tösum de Tösamgom Dires Marwa. Tösamgom Dires? Ja, Tösamgom. Ja, Ajahn Rinpoche shortened it to only hearing, the three hearing, but it's not the three hearing, it's of course hearing, which means studying, and then thinking about, and then afterwards meditating. So these three activities have to be done to fulfill the goal to sort of advance on the path and advance the abilities of understanding and gaining wisdom, gaining knowledge, and gaining wisdom through gaining knowledge. And then, of course, we have to consider the part of like the 4 immeasurables, that we have to be able to reach unlimited equipoise, unlimited love, unlimited compassion, and unlimited what was it? Compassion. Sorry, balance. Then it was love and joy. The 4th one is the limitless joy about all the good of the others. Also, these 4 immeasurables we have to sort of master, and we have to go further and reach all the states that lead up to final Buddhahood. And if we sort of practice with the means of Tara, and if we sort of realize what is meant by realizing Tara, then we realize all the states of the Buddhas, then we sort of are able to manifest this special enlightened activity for other sentient beings. And this is the final goal, so to say, and this is why this practice is sort of practiced.
제장다 나서 로마니 주착직 대한테서대 양 아니 산제지 템바 셈제지 디지 데라 아니 숭누바 좀누바 뺏누바 딘리게 누바 나초 초바지 다 시제왕자기 니슈자기게 되나와 제바텔라 뜻샤 표현조당 공기 아니 넘바 칸지 임바다갈라 뜻샤 표현조지 니지지레도와 대송장가서다 최천인지기 응은에 지진조마 아닌가서 냠낸 지고는 딘리제 조마니슈 짝지 아니 다리도 다리들이 되니 라고면 딘리데 누라 마지와체.
And it is important that we do not practice with underlying sort of how to say intense wishing, like a greed for reaching something for ourselves, but instead we should be practicing purely, and we should sort of, whenever we recite the mantra Om Tare Tu Tare Tu Re Swaha, we should be doing this with sort of sincere how to say, sincere inner prayer, like inner aspiration to reach the true goal of Buddhahood for the sake of all sentient beings.
나중에 당보와이 다바 낭바사바시니 아니 공부지야라 라렌 딴니 지준조마기 아니 가르조로다 랑가 세나민도 다 공부한 세나민도 디초네 페 바직 소소 고나 디니 맞아 that's lamde manor bazi goya dippe kechemures.
And as we are beginners and maybe are not so certain about the path and the stages of the path and how to practice, and lacking knowledge in the general field, then it would be very important for us to, even if we want to practice and do the practice, that we do this without errors, that we really practice the unmistaken path and unmistakingly practice. That's very important, not to sully it.
나존데다 통둥지체네 대지 한라 아니지 세궁군 담고 대지 자침보기 리모티조 곰 되는 소소기 가르주고르다 질랍 토야이 썸노다 눈바지야이 썸노다 딘리기 자침보다 열에대 이나디 랑가랑아서 랑산 조투고 말레스.
Yes, and when we have a look at all these enlightened deities here on the tankas, and if we feel somehow dedicated to them, attracted to them, that we imagine, we admire their power and we admire what they are sort of representing, but then we should develop the sincere wish that, we want to achieve their goal, but we cannot do that out of nothing. We cannot do that just right away, out of the blue. It is not possible. So we have to, be patient.
당가서 대발라이나 당연 대바다. 원두기 대바. 이 집에 대바. 숨도 와스.
Gongda yang ya sum ronang e kirangi dra nyendu maso. Also sum Changchup
대바.
Tepa.
대바.
Ja, chang.
대바 말이 대바.
Tepa.
당연 대바. 원두기 대바.
Undru.
원두 말이
chang.
원두. 원두기 대바. 이 집에 대바. 대바 숨이 열어와.
And we have to diligently cling to 3 kind of activities. I did not fully understand Nawangla. Can you help me out? 3, 3, but
잠님 주시다.
3 faiths. And
맞아 대바 열어 대바숨.
Tepasum. Okay.
대바하고에.
Tepa tada. Tepa dramadrandu inaya.
알레 대바하고에. 안에 산진출라 대바치야. 가진치야. 대바스나 가진 이치치야. 대바치야. 라마를 대바치고 산진.
Depa. Gongdag. Faith. Okay. I understood.
대바 말해.
Gongdag. Depa. Okay. Tepa kirang di tepa. Magidu gongdag. Sorry. Tibetan can be tricky, you know. Sometimes people say depa, which is belief or faith, and now it's spoken like tepa, and there is a lot. So depa, so it's 3 kinds of faith that you need. It was the faith that comes from, conviction and from sort of belief. And the third one was from aspiration. Yeah, from aspiration, sorry. It will happen again, so don't worry.
Om tare du re so ha. Om tare du re so ha. Lasso da. Deni java jui.
Dann then we enter into the practice.
Okay. Chiba.
Tiva.
Yes, Chiba.
Tiva.
Dini
There are no more questions to be asked.
This schedule nyamdo ngi tsu ha mo chi pa ha mo des and the chandro series. Tele Chiba juna kunzolo peje so pin tondo kaure.
Ja, det kirangi nyam yungu gitu.
Cheza nyam mena kilin jo mare.
Chang.
Okay.
There's one more question. Please, Rinpoche, give us also advice how to practice Tara as long as we have not got an initiation. And please, we also request you to give us the Tara initiation. Thank you.
Also, denne Mikashi dir kommt zu Dröme Wang Rak Masong Tada. Und Wang di Marak Gongla, denne kommt zu Yang Dröme Duptop Nyamsulen Chogire Bes. Und denne Ji Che Nyamsulen Dupgire. Und de Yang Ma Ong Par Kuchi Ngazo Chötsok La Kirang Yankyar Pebna, denne Dröme Wang Zähl du so. So la.
Hola so deni 강다른 가서 양간인 거서 다이 집에 대박 가는 로 그래. 대박된 오늘 가서 시에 돈에 가래래. 지준 좀 많이 접답 다든 초그래 초기 말에 초마 쇼게샤면도
아짠짠.
가서 팽거래. 가서 동해 만들 바래 대완들 바래. 데니 동해디 짐바 당지 마릭바게 저거래. 가서 지진 좀 라야디 되라 치료라 요 말에. 가서 오늘 가서 이심 참모 감 대식님 뭐 라야 디가네 아니 지진 좀 먹는 거 해야지. 왜 니즈된 데레더래. 대송장 디 딥체라 되는 가서 당지 마릭바 셈제기 몽바 다 마릭바라 해도와 다디 니중안에 수소 탑시 치고로 와. 가서 동행 되기 메나 동행기 대 매와서 그래. 그러와 가서 대완되나 대화디 공배당야라 대화디기 주 공배당나 주팀바지 공배당나 가서 대화 용그래. 이는 가서 동해 만들와 대화 되바세 아니 동해기 주 매번 맞어 봐지 아니 가서 몽디 제 대화이나 가서 주바 되게 말이 셈 주바 되고로 와죠.
So Rinpoche says it is not the question of being allowed to practice or not. If you want to practice the sadhana without having a proper initiation yet, then you have to be aware of some danger in your mind that you may fall a victim of pride or something like that. Or what is the actual practice for? It is for subduing our negative emotions like pride and anger and hatred. It is for ridding ourselves from ignorance and from self-grasping and from ignorance in the worst form, the darkness that enclouds our minds. And so if we keep in mind that this is just it is a means for just this and not for just showing off with some elaborate practice or whatever, but that it is a means to get rid of the roots of suffering, and that is a means of cutting through the continuum of our suffering, because we have many sort of seeds of suffering which are sort of continuously creating problems, so to say, and to cut through all of them, this is what we do with the practice of Tara, and therefore we need proper faith. We do not need blind faith. With blind faith we will not gain any proper result, but with sort of sincere faith, sincere belief that we want to practice for this purpose, then it reaches our subtle mind, and whether we have an initiation or not, the practice will sort of transform on the subtle level of our mind, will make a difference in cutting through the continuum of the many sufferings that we have, or the many sort of negativities that we have. And so this is what it's there for.
아주 동행다 대화 라야지다 시샤 뭐부지요로와 대탕말로와 시샤 코랑기 랑진디 아니 시야디 패키지 모레노와 랑진디 시야라 탑 아니 가서 대두 준제 라야 미치기 아니 지 수수기에다 지 대지 푸숨소바지 거기요나 가졸라 거기로 와 정말로와 아니 디 지 대지 용수조바 마용한데 가서 로 출바지 인간이 제가 송장 당보대랑 가족이 땡제 참모 니주 인간이 아니 디야보 제가 호이나 랑기 심나라 차당이로 템버진 아니 착제 아니 심지 망보지라 당와차 심지 망보지라 착바지 아니 망보지라 당뇽지네 심 트리로진도아 디 가서 뒤다 넘버 군도라 동해 지용고래 아니 조다 메바지 대화니까지 체세기 대화지나 고라 니게 랑지지 주베 랑지지네 동해 지용고래 대송장 지준 좀 집치기 로데야 내가 라가지만 젤 마토바데 제장 지준 좀 운동가서 인자를 지한다 지준 좀에 공방 토발라 가서 따와 친지로 대바대당 쪄바 친지로 대바디 칼레 매바서야 이 탑데 마시와 있나 지준 좀 젤탑당 지준 좀에 공방론 좋다 메레
we have to keep in mind that we all have lots of suffering and joy, suffering and happiness, and we need to know the very nature of these. What is the nature of them? It is something that derives from causes, and if we get to know the nature, that there is a grasping of them, that they are sort of an absolute truth in a way, then we can counter that with getting to know and to investigate them with their true nature, with the knowledge of dependent origination, so that these are not of that truth that we are grasping at, and that there is, because we are grasping at a certain truth in them, that they are sort of what they are out of themselves, we develop this kind of yearning on one hand side, and sort of aversion on the other side. And this comes from holding all those experiences of pleasure and pain for real, and the causes which we combine with them for real. And to be able to cut through that, knowing the nature of this, the sort of nature of being dependent originated, this leads to a certain equanimity in the mind. And so when we are losing this tight grip of grasping at the truth of them, this is sort of helping us to proceed on the path. And how the practice of Tara helps us with that, it is that if we have the certain faith of practicing it, and if we are requesting sincerely about the bliss that we really want to sincerely stay on the path, and that we want to make sort of quick developments, that we get better and better at it soon, and sort of in this way addressed to Tara, then we use the practice as a means. But if we have sort of still grasping, if we do not understand the relations between the practice and the reality, then this will be no path for us to go. We cannot really go on this path. It is not for us then.
얘는 가서 손놈 쌓아야지 다 자진이라고 지시와 있는 가서 령아 이숨지 손놈 쌓아야라고 있는 데니 지 구체야 구고미야 데니 지 가지고 그러다 지 연자표야 뼈표야 보라제야 차체야 데니 쳬바 나 소번자문자 표야 대창말로와 배 미시자침부리 안데바 잔주와 디창말로와 자침부리 데 손놈 쌓아야지 차진스 조리마도 산지지 쳬 라야디 디루 디쌈지 산지 쳬 지기요 말에 산지 쳬 쳬바 이나 쳬 세나 가서 다 주바다연 저버지 베레지는 가서 동해만 되바 대만 되반디 아니 다 동해디 매바서 고그러와 주바당 고그러와 아니 대바디 콤베르던 고그러와 대송장 쳬 라디 줄베트 삼노라스 땅 쭈쭈 제약이 대전으로 지나 따와 친지로 대야당 쭈바 친지로 송와이나 심지기 내가 심지 라야지 타니 야산데 따와 친지로 쭈바 친지로 대라 때네 아니 서로와 동해 나 줘봐 로아지주 코로나 코네 동해 줘야 매반데 아니 tawa chinji lo de dang joba chinji lo de chik do wa te sung zang tawa chinji ma lo wa dang joba chinji ma lo wa zegi nga ni che song wa ina ani chö che chö ni chö chö dang ni ani chinji lo de wa de chinji ma lo wa zo ani joba yang de rang dan di chinji ma lo wa de kare se na ani za chen bo nga zo yong su cha wa la ani 동니 ji tawa la ya da yang ta ba la ya da ani koran ngui ni chu la ya da din ri ge ani shirap pyu tu chungwa ji la tawa chinji ma lo wa si gi do wa ta joba chinji ma lo wa se na ta joba chinji lo de di ani din ri ge tawa chinji lo jang joba di ge ani rang chi bo thunda la ani tawa chinji lo lu dembar ji 차진자 네니 아니 저바데 양 아니 랑지보 된다라 타입이 심진 탐질라 파 주마시바지 랑지보지 내는 초답지야 돼 진지로 되기도 와 대송장 점nin지 전주기 셈 줘야 돼 저바 진지 말로 봐 인장 산지지 최대 아니 지 전주기 셈다 돈이 나와 데라 드로당 드로디 아니 따와 딘중 쩌바 체바 메와 손이 딘디지기 탑잉하니 로바이나 자침보 템보 자침보 차기도 와.
And it is important for us to know that what we practice as the Buddha Dharma, we have to, of course, create a lot of merit. We have to collect merits from good deeds. And how do we do it? We do it by practicing, for example, Guru Yoga. We practice by offering all kinds of material things, like sincerely offering the water, the flowers, anything that we do for the purpose of collecting merit. So many practices that we have there. But we have to have the right intention to do so. Of course, it is important to know that we are collecting merit and that the Buddha Dharma, the teaching of the Buddha, has at least two aspects which cover a lot, like what is Dharma, what is this teaching? And of course, it consists of gaining the right view, which is very important. And this is one of the practices we have to follow to get to the point that we really sincerely get the right view. And then we have to have the right conduct. We have to see that the way we behave, the way we act, that this is sort of in accordance with the true Dharma. And if we sort of blend these together, they become one when we sort of do it with the right intention, that we know we have to put all the necessities together to gain that blending of right view and outer behavior. Right view, as we said, it's all about gaining insight into reality, into emptiness, into the selflessness and so on, and all the practices that are necessary for that we have to undergo these. But we should not be thinking that this is enough, that we only have to do that, because we have to give it a fundament, and the fundament is sort of our improvement, gradually improving our behavior by doing these practices that we mentioned, that our practice sort of becomes purer and purer, and then it is a support also for the gaining insight practice, and so they more and more become one. And what is the right conduct? How do we do practice like giving and so on in the right way? We have to consider I am just one single being, but there are all the other beings, and they are so many. They are a multitude of beings, and they all want happiness and don't want to suffer, like me. They are just like me. But how important I am, my little me, concerning all of them. And so in this way, considering all those who suffer like me, and all those who are in the same position as I am in samsara, and sort of out of control of all the things that belong to samsara. So in this way we develop bodhicitta. We develop bit by bit this mind of a Buddha that really clearly has a heart for the others more than for one's own happiness. And so in this way, that is how the behavior of sort of follower of the Buddha sort of becomes whole in the end. And this is then how we reach more and more the state of a Buddha. And the Dharma that he taught is fulfilled.
Chezang azo da nyamle one putago jik yago jik michina la ani nangba so tembo yago jik chechena ani tawa tingyungi 되네 ni chungane chö tamji 돈이 지대 코나니데 쳔바이나 되는 가서 차당 남준도 미지나라 차당 신나서고 덴바짐바다 랑진진 신나서고디 아니 카르조르다 매바다 디지 짐바디 논주임바다 독자임바다 로브임바다 랑젠 참말로라 동해존이 내가 타도 연수조발라 서로 동해존이 임바지 아니 하호바다 디 코랑 내당 대양 랑기 짐바 짬지마도 유티응어라 아니 덴바조바 더자 메비 니중안에 최 탐제니 띵중이와 인장 아니 가족이 로인 짐바나지 덴바 조바 축도바지 메바디 하호존나 할리비지 캐주 전부다 시럽 피도 중 자친부 최 원인 전에 자친부 진조나 디종안에 삼는 곰바 제바이나 빼미시 캐주무 이자레.
And we have to keep in mind that our practice has to be perfectly done, has to be pure, and has to be on a stable basis. It has to be sort of have a stable continuity. And if we may erroneously think that we just have to practice in emptiness and in insight, and that is the main focus that we should aim on, then we run the danger of becoming quite sort of uptight and sort of contempting others who do not practice these elaborate practices that we do, and so on. So these faults are sort of easily entering our mind, and we lack the opportunity by sort of keeping in mind the actual practice of our behavior, of our sort of views on others and so on, that this is sort of the basis that broadens our mind, that we gain the necessary sort of elements together that will help us to far more easily gain insight. Without the sort of proper practice of all the other aspects of limited love and so on, we will not reach the goal. We will deprive ourselves of reaching the insight, but with the other practice blended, so we gain vastly insight, and insight is opening up to us because of the great merit and the broadening of the mind that goes with it.
제자 데니 딘디기 동엔데 뇽르당 데니지 ngazo시 셰당 라야지 주제 매바다 말에 될라지 아니 띵중데 셰와이나 마랑기 셰당 남주 롱당 능진 축도 반지네 아니 베 나고 나자 통야다 아니 지 가진지 제와이나 베 하장 간저 딘디기 차당 숙심보 많이 와체네 아니 공유니지 셰샤지 통와이나 아니 소소 고양보 로데보 최체라나 심퓨고도와 심마두바존이데 셰당 주가레 디무 마리과 뭐니지 마토니 심지기 니중안에 나는 군주바떼고 요자네 주바떼준도와 되는 가서 시럽줘야돼 가서 류된디 띵이 시럽라야돼 난간나지 가져야지 셰샤 용주조바 체지 류지라 아니 담배 최정모디 제는 산지 로니야 ngal라 빼모보 자치모도와 단다이나 자친부 유대유로와 마음발라 용진바라와 대송장 대창말로와 당진줄라야디 가족이 독자 임바나 고 심디 루르 임바 아니 ngazugi dame tobe shirab layadi simye rangjin ni jude ani be mezi karjorgo luruwa maimba tendo ani be dewa tendo ani be takwa za chimbuji ni juyinjani kon이 chebar치고 있나 된리게 karjorgo dangjin layadi ko ma pangjuyo baji ngunjinjiya deni kale pangdala dasha shedang dijude nyurudani ani kale simba zangbu 장보 laksam닝지 라야디 콤덥 칼레 뺀니 제바이나 안가조 초바 대화 라야디 아니 징르 데니양 랑 데니 랑이 심디 뒤소나 아니 타르바 윤데도 통화다 호와 쳔바 제소나 아니 심젠 탐지 라야디 뭐 니주 토네 안가조 켄린 토비아지다 뭐 니주 토네 까진체 대바지다 자친부지 통바이나 아니 닝지 줘야 돼요. 아니 고 가져로다 차당 망고비 토니 장부지 닝지 제고로와.
Und es ist so, dass natürlich in unserem Geist nach wie vor, auch wenn wir sorry, ja. Sorry. English, yeah. It is still like that in our mind we still have, of course, anger and arrogance and non-clarity, like darkness in a way. And this is sort of, it is limiting us and keeping us away from insight into wisdom. And we may think it can frustrate us after a while if we practice and we still see not much improvement concerning that. And so how should we deal with that? We should sort of lean back and really sort of get into position, one mind, one body, and that we just think in this way that we need a stable, consistent, continuous practice. And of course we cannot expect that all these deeply ingrained negativities can be easily subdued or that we get rid of that. It's not possible. So, but today I made an effort. And better? No? Technique?
Yeah, Mindu. Mezzo inseri.
I don't know. There's no context here.
Yeah. Yes.
Hört ihr mich jetzt? Ja? Okay, gut. Just shortly, sort of, we lean back, we consider with one mind, one body, so really in accordance with ourselves, okay, we cannot easily get rid of these negativities in us, so we want to achieve stable happiness, we want to achieve a stable mind, we want to achieve sort of stable conditions of insight and so on, but with this mind that we actually have, this is not easy possible, and of course we cannot expect, since we have that since limited time, that a little practice will solve the problem. That's not the thing. And because we have the path, we have all the sort of imprints and so on, we have to take right action, and so until we make a progress, maybe today a little, And then if we keep on with consistent practice, tomorrow more, the day after more, and over years and so on, we see a difference. We see that our mind has become more pure, that our conduct has become better. And this is the time when sentient beings sort of get some trust in us, that they can rely on us, that we have a sort of influence on them in a positive way, maybe. Until then, a very important practice for us is to show so much gratitude towards sentient beings. All our development, everything that we are, depends on them and is related to them. And so this means of sort of producing sincere attitude of gratitude in ourselves, to really see them with the eye of thank you, of being aware of the relations. That is a fantastic means to sort of boost our development, our sort of proceeding further.
라서 드니 약보 지치와이나 아니 지진로마 안수수기 다지 땅와이나 아니 동니 닌제 존은 하샤가지 고와 인장 전주기 셈다 동반이 시고야 돼 신도 개침물이 늘라이나양 지진로마 셀다나 동니 닌제 존난지 셀지여바지다 셀 답단지 하호나 드니가서 대바 라야다 가진 라야디 아니 배 수수기 이치 짱마짱장라 당 대바 할레비 주아메비 대바지 용시바레스 데 마임바 데는 가서 짜침보 제네 다지 티구다 아니 동구다 세르구다 딘지 중니 짜침보 질랍토데 안데즈디 겁나 아니 펜도 야부레 질랍 야부레데 템보 마레스 아니 가서 셈딘 주아 태그 마레 나츠기 셈주바 태고 셈듀고 그래 넘버산집이 추세 냠래 제네 소소기 짜침부즈 조야라 수수수수기 아니 셈기 내당인가네 주바테네 제거로와 디 소소소소 주바 땅투 말에 라마 체니 상황 되니 오늘 짜침부 전주기 셈다 돈이다와 아니 개배 연대요 제배 연대요 님배 연대요 학벌도 전주기 셈다 돈이다와 꽤마 많이 받지 줄을 제대야지 요나 되니 가서 라마 디기 줄라 직된 취지 지금 말에 되니 가서 이제 아니 근조숨세 지 아니 소소 대바 이지치와 있나 한 가서 루그 말아 이제 나란조 루티 인가라 조잖아 루티 주마 인가라 조잖아 소소소소 고고고 소소소소 몽디 치는 조와 있나 되니 로카시 로줍장 낭비 취지 아니 가야 민도 가야 님바 민도 되니 나라 가야 토마송 라마송 나 아니 단다 동에 매바 차마송 라나 디 말에 랑기 취지 마시바레마도 취를 님바 매바 말에
So in the Buddha Dharma, everything is about emptiness and compassion. That is what ultimate wisdom consists of, and so it is the way also with Tara, with Dharma practice. And so because this is so, it is a vast vehicle, and if we do the practice like we aim for with sincere faith, sincere belief in the effectiveness of it, the effect that we sort of gain more abilities in emptiness and compassion, in ridding ourselves from the faults, in ridding ourselves from that we have to get rid of. It is very important not to waver in the mind, to stay consistently at one's practice, and not that after some years we say, I do it now for several years, but have I become better? I'm so disappointed of myself, and the practice has not sort of gained me the success I longed for. I didn't achieve anything, and so on, and so maybe I give up, and thoughts like that arise. But then it is really, truly important not to be disappointed, but to continue with the practice and continue with the efforts, because it cannot be expected that the changes are quickly achieved. And we have to be aware of the fact that this practice is important. We ourselves aim at the qualities of bodhicitta and the bodhisattvas, and complete wisdom and complete compassion. And so to be wavering in one's mind does not make any difference. So that will not bring us any change and the desired goal. So by this, just sort of keeping on with the practice and sincerely relying on the practice we have started by out of faith in accordance with Tara, then we can sort of feel and achieve the bliss for gaining insight, the bliss for our conduct. And so this is the effect then of a sincere, unwavering mind and faith in that practice.
제자 아니 지진 로마지 접탑 페이지야 페이지 자주 주주리 내가 라메 뉴뉴라오리 가시 어리마도 되니 접탑 자타 가시 페이지 요사리 되니 나 디기나니 수수수기 뜨니 가진체니 아니 접탑 간다지 뜨바이나 네 삼발라 페이지 지 만디바이지 마레 튕기도 디레 튕기도 좀전 가르세나 되니 강다 만디와 다 유메라야데 남중가 저기 아니 왕마톱나 아니 라 곰마쇼와 된디 송대고리 디 ngույ니 준다고 증원이 이나양 왕토발라 장주기sem다 돈이 다왕 해봐도 고그래 왕줘야라 아니 수술라 오네 자네기 다 라마 첸된 자침보 저와 도지 장저르지나 다 가절마 친질라 연주지 토네 가절라 자침보 저라들마도 로메 응은이야 오네 자네 왕 다지 가절라 왕 유튜브 나왕 라숭라이 되 ngo줘야라 돈이 다와 ngo줘야다 장주기 셈기 찌진야 잠도 셈지 찌진비 돈이 아니 왕 장주기 가져로 동반이 ngo줘네 왕주야 탑 용수 저거 창을 만들어지 제자 대툭도래 대송장다 가서 돈이 당 장주sem대저 대저 갈래하고 송아인자 되는 가서 낭바산지바 당보 차용도 접답 가르지나 아니 가르주고로 고 온다 믹다 가르송도 가르팽이도 가진 제사 소소 제바이나 가진 제바이나 텔레 딕바 유지리 챙기면도 되니 자베지 산제지 최대 소소이 대바치야지 준라데 칸드레샤 가서 지주 빼닝 제물도 빼가 가워요 나다 믹센 제반도글라나 디잠 마자바치 오늘 전에 산제지 군조 숨 라야디 칸드스글 군조 숨 산지 군조 최 군조 겐두 군조 숨네 딘데디 주 칸드레스 댄샤 안 소소 단제바 칸드렌도 수수이디 랑가델런 로 투비하기 수술을 님바도게 님바메나 아니 겐두군조 라야디 아니 가서 당지 마르바디 짜와니 메바차 차네 아니 장주심비 찌진비 토네 돈잉은 숨 또소나 겐두군조리 덴지직 또야라 포모 예바 예마리 창물로라 톱상 예대로 돈이 줘야디 고래 셰샤 군라 찹대야지리마도 메랭가지기 인주대야다 메랭가지기 띠야야 기 말해봐 대송장 되는 semba장보다 장보라야 돼 수수기 왜냐면 전당요나 수수기 님바주야지레마도 얘기 제도하면 도와
Wenn es den Inhalt des if it is about the content of the sadhana of Tara, I was wondering if it is okay or not to sort of practice it the way it should be done, and how about an empowerment. But my opinion is that if you sincerely bow to Vajradhara, to Dorje Chang, and then really aspire the bliss of sort of gaining insight into emptiness and achieving progress in sort of bodhicitta. And if you really do so and request to receive the empowerment of Tara, be empowered in Tara, there is nothing wrong in practicing it. But it is really important to keep on sort of relating to the contents, like asking questions. What is the meaning? What is the actual meaning? Like, if you see all these wonderful deities, then you may think, they appeal to me. I somehow feel there is some attractiveness about them, and they are beautiful, but so what is the actual meaning of them? And that you have to sort of also consider the general sources of all that. Like, they are all representations of the three jewels, Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. And what actually is a Buddha? What actually is meant by the Dharma? What does it consist of? And what is the Sangha? What do these jewels mean to me and to the world? And so by knowing that the Buddha is the one who, after practicing sincerely and searching, finally reached the goal and then taught the Dharma, and that the Dharma is an effective sort of means of sort of liberating one's from all these ignorance, from all the negativities, from all the dangers of falling into lower realms, and that this is so meaningful, and that it is sort of the means of achieving all these wonderful states of compassion and of sort of by developing a level of compassion and a level of merit that it can be the remedy for all those causes that keep us in samsara, and that is all part of what the Dharma is about, what the Dharma consists of, and why it is considered as a jewel. And this general knowledge will help us to sort of stabilize the practice and sort of gain more insight in also in the higher sort of teachings. And even if at the beginning we do not have the initial power to sort of understand everything and have the knowledge of everything, it is really important to keep on. And then if we sort of use the Tara sadhana for this purpose and sort of deal with it, relate to it, and do it in this manner that we consider it as a skillful means on the path to help us further to achieve the goal that we know about, then this can be done.
맞아. 대바 라야디. 아니 가지고 그 가진 다 간다. 군조 숨라 낭바치는 군조 숨라 잡수 조긴 라야다. 아니지 라만라 아니 배 대바칭이 라야돼서 좀zen 시바이나 소소 가진 지야다. 소소 약슈 남야지 차진지 수수기 준바이나 하호바이나 난 자치 못 차기도 와. 대인자네 맞아 산지 군조 라용도 칸드질라 라기도 상 라나 맞아 로브리지 뇽무 툭숨 아니 동해지 릭타다 상 매바 겔라나 다 뒤다 넘버 군도 아니 베멜 hundu 심제 탐지라 대화 라야데 니갑다 타투 용수 줘봐 아니 대화 바직 니 되게 연된제와 아니 가르쳐로 다 동일 유리제와 아니 대양 뒤숨라 아니 뒤숨라 아니 접tum니 젠tum니 쳔발라나 매와 아니 장이 군지 니룩 쳔대와 제발라나 매와 아니 잔들니 좀 많이 봐 타입이 심년 탐지 동에 만들어 대van 되어 참말로와 아니 용수 줘봐 대변일라 아니 제네 짭그 제네 된리기 째와 침부 tsebalana meba dela deni numbalana meba deni semjen tondu chinri ani tusumla susu numbalana meba zi cha yongdu di changmalo wa ichi chesade ani toni ninji ani zonjuk jigla ngaso ichi chigures di gobado was dela jomzen do was ngaso zuk kecha mari tratzi kecha mari chechi ro recha dindi chigi ngaso kunjo sum zine kecha mari ba kunjo sum wonendi dondeji chinzu nyusu dani jigla ngaso gi 대바지야 돼요. 좀제 요레스. 디 토네 로바이나 심 쿠양보. 말한소 타멘비 셈데. 갈레라. 아니 셈데. 아니 산진이 툭나지. 갈레 타멘비 류데. 산진이 군나지. 갈레 아니 타멘비 nga데 산진이 송나지 딘디지. 아니 베데 주주 요바데. ngaso 디니 당지 말을 받아 랑진진 되는데 아니 고구니 디게 준연주지 녀모 특숨되지 참아 칼레 매바 제송이나 아니 디 영어지 주르 타툭 세미 랑진데 ngo시네 자침보 차용도 디니 중간에 상제라야 돼 참아 디가니 차르고도 와스 대송장 지준조만 라야 되라 접답 칸라진 되바이나 차란조 이제 논주제 딕바요지 챙기면도 된장 제잖아 챙기도 나랑이 박수르다 그래서 그 뒤는 손음지 사로 그러 봐 가서 가르제롱 마제롱 네 가서 체메다 바지 되니 산지지 취라 왕주바 있는다 롱주바 있는다 다지 접탑 지바 있는다 강 톱톱지 수수기 제토바 있나 아니 코토바 있나 통토바 있나 아니 손음 사로 그래 딜라 대화자로 그래 did no retingimido.
When we, if we sort of consider the vehicle and the three jewels and taking refuge in the three jewels, so we really have to truly understand what the content of this is, what our refuge is aiming at. And of course, this is absolutely important. What is the quality of the Buddha, so to say? He is someone who, like the Tibetan name says, Sang, he sort of cleared away all the negativities, and likewise we have to do that. And he also sort of broadened his mind. He expanded his mind in utmost manner. And how did he do that? He did do that also through training, through sort of limitless lifetimes. He was training in generosity in 3 times, so to say, for long periods. He was sort of able to give endlessly to reach at the end the perfection of giving. And so what did this expansion mean in the end? That he was able to sort of fulfill that what we call limitless love. That was the result of that. And so the expanded mind, the broadened mind of a Buddha consists of that resulting limitless love through his practices of the perfections for limitless time. And this is something that we have to do. We have to get rid of all the stains and faults and their roots, and we have to get rid of the roots of sort of being again and again reborn in samsara. And we have to sort of become better, good human beings. And if we sincerely practice that with the practices he sort of gave, then we will see the difference. Then we will realize that our body becomes different, that he becomes sort of so smoothly working with us, not sort of being difficult to handle, and so our mind. So we get a lighter mind and body who are easily ready to do the good things, and so we can become really noble people and noble beings. And so realizing that at one's own being of body and mind, we sort of become encouraged to go further, and then we suddenly understand the true amount of the power of the Buddha, which has this, what we call Khyentse Nusum, which has this wisdom and limitless compassion and the power to really do the best for living beings. And the more we become ourselves like that, the more we feel a true love for that, a true admiration, and we realize what we are really taking refuge in, and what the true meaning of that is, and that is so important to us. We absolutely hold it dear to us then, with a far higher amount of sincerity about. So the practicing of Tara and the sadhana and so on can help us with this, but I'm wondering about, I cannot really sort of estimate, says Khandro, in how far you can really make use of that with all the background, with the knowledge, doing the practice, but that's up to you. You know, if you start doing it, and if you sincerely try to apply what is there, and if you keep asking questions and questioning yourself, what is the meaning, and then you may progress and deepen your insight, and this is the way it should be done.
Oh, la so tini roma ni shu tsak ji long zi song song nga so nyam do la ma den ja na tini tra de ko na long thop do re song nang do ni be chen nam ni nyam do ni song sha cha ma chen nam ba drup da yue na nyam do ma song sha.
So we now recite together the practice of the 21 taras, and the lung is bestowed during our recitation. So she does not know if you have all the texts in front of you, and if you have, please join in.
Pambo gula dronze ma drama yum la cha zelo je ma pama drama la cha zelo chanza drama ni mo ba mo je ne ge je lo dan drama jide zumbo chuje jani kesar jawala ne shuma chanza denge da gendo kunga jane zube shama kama dondra tsopa nam je rabdo cheve rabama chanza zanga jula je peme sone jimba jema jimba zudu katu jema zamba sande joye nyema chanza deje shebe zu tor taye namba jeve jema Male kone jimba tobe, jewa seje shindo tema, chanza dudara hongi yege, duda jina namka kangma, jikden dumbo shablo nende, lupa mela guba nyema, chanza jase mela samba, luna nazo wanjo juma, Yumba rola jizanam tan, nishin tuyin dinen tema, chanza jishe chalan peje, paro chugorab da shoma, Yijin Chang Shabjin Nende Mimba Chuba Shindom Barma Chanza Dure Jimba Chimbo Duju Bawu Nambar Jima Chuje Jene Chunye Denze Dawa Tamje Malu Sima Chanza Ganjo Sula Chaje Summa Tuga Nambar Jima Jebe Chunze Kolo Jembe Range Yuje Chuna Chuma Chanza Rabdu Gawa Chipe Uje Yuje Chuma Bema Shivara Yendu Darayi Dudanji Dewandu Sema Chanza Sajin Yunwe Tsona Tamje Guba Nima Nima Chonye Yowa Yige Hongi Pongpa Tamje Namba Druma Remember Buje Temba Tamje Shindom Barma Rave Jalaya Pamele Tapa Shindo Yura Sema Chanza Kevenda Vameta Bave Trive Ulanima Yeja Yungon Kune Koge Jaya Pune Namba Joma Chanza Sajin Ula Chagi Teje Neje Shanje Dema Chogyen Jenze Yige Hongi Riba Tembo Nala Gema Chanza Gewa Gema Shema Nyange Tanje Shuyima Soayanda Yanda Dema Diva Chembo Jombe Nyima Chanza Dire Gaye Jaya Lune Namda Jema Ige Jevang Ala Gube Riba Hongle Drama Nyema Chanza Dire Jeno Nebe Hongle Nebe Save Nyema Riram Bendala Dambenje Jide Samba Yoya Nyema Chanza Laye Tsone Jambe Hida Dache Salanam Dara Nisho Beje Yige Tonda Male Bana Sema Chanza Teri Tsone Jabo Hada Meya Chiya Dema Gwene Kuja Gawa Chile Tsonda Malangen Basema Chanza Nyamanda Wachile Chenye Pana Harasema Hara Nisha De Darayi Shinda Chabarim Nisema Chanza Dende Chila Gube Shive Tenda Yanda Dema Dondoro Na Jetsona Jombo Dere Radinye Sawa Ngaje Dambande Nande Nishu Tsaji Duma Chugu Jindra Kordan Koze Tsela Chinga Cheche Tsenju Zambo Jindra Va Tindra Konan Tatsun Juba Chela Dube Sowa Tabe De Tatsu Kandu Nibe Sachut Nida Ubon Tatsu Shivat Chudan Jashi Pevan Zedo So Chanju Simjo Rimbo Maje Bana Cheju Jewa Nyamba Meba Kone Kondo Pebara Shu Tunyen Dawa Rimbo Maje Bana Cheju Jewa Nyamba Meba Kone Kondo Pebara Shu Jewa Gundo Yanda Lama Deme Chuje Bela Longju Da Lamji Yande Rabzon Dorje Change Kumbon Yurdo Sho Laso Tini Sanjeji Demba Zini Jivu Tamba Jawa Yinobu Zube Nani Zambaling Sading Dikala Juni Jivu Tamba Simjinla Pentoni Zachimbo Tsangmalo Guziteya Deni Yang Nyumu Tuksumgi Churdeni Yeda Mangju Muge dindela yang xiang den jur de ya de chang ma lo wa ane sim rap tu jin chanju gi sim da temba an ninje da temba soba da temba yong shu ji ndo na zamulin de ene shidi kaju lan jur ba shu mong ru mu ge ma yong shu chene amalam number tawa devruchis.
Yes, and now Rinpoche is requesting us to sort of enter into this by aspiring. We will sincerely work at sort of applying the practice, that we want to become better human beings, that with body, speech and mind we shall sort of be able to benefit beings and to lighten the situation of suffering beings and to bring more sort of nobility into us and also into the world, and that by sincerely empowering our own forces to do so, by sort of gaining more strength to do so, that we have the sincere dedication to do that, that we also want to sincerely contribute to the peace of the world by developing patience and all the other perfections and all the sort of prescribed ways of behavior. By developing these sincerely and with wholehearted effort, may we bring more peace to this world.
Jambe bawe jedre jimba la kundo zambo deyan dejen deda gunje jezu dalo je kewan deda tamje rabdo tuzun jibe jawa tamje je ngowa gang chudo ngawa dajin kebe zawon digen ja zambo je rabdo ngowa je